must be our goal and our guide. And all that we strive for as a human family, dignity and hope, progress and prosperity, depends on peace. But peace depends on us.
Way back in 1998, the late Secretary General of the United Nations by name Kofi Annan thought of an idea, brought an idea of saying the only way to bring world order where crimes committed that are not punishable in local courts, local countries, regional courts could be taken to an international crimes court. The Rome Statute and Rome Treaty of 1998 July was an offspring of already cooked DSGE intelligence system mechanism to keep Africa under check. Up to date, the French government pays 70% of the salaries of the International Criminal Court, from the porter to the judge to the prosecutor and the rest of the other people. This was a project of Kofi Annan and the Kofi Annan Foundation, followed by George Soros as an accomplice of Kofi Annan, brought in by Luis Moreno Campo and the entire system of the West, some countries in the West, to keep check on African countries that did not agree with the policies of the French and to their policies of Western culture. The International Criminal Court Chief Prosecutor Luis Moreno Campo agreed in all this that yes, he has been picking money, extra monies, and we followed the story together with my group in France, powerful investigators in France who worked together with me, and we found out that, truly speaking, Luis Moreno Campo, Fernandez Gomedi, the former judge, the president of the International Criminal Court, laundered money, some coming from American banks themselves. This evidence was put in the ICC. In the case of Bashir versus the chief prosecutor, I filed an application, which I still have, and which I'm going to publicize again, so that people can know that I was right. I've been vindicated because the American friends now have found that my credibility is real, that I was right when I stood up to say this court is corrupt. This court launders money, $17 million of United States money, laundered through Bahamas, through New York banks, back to Ocampo's personal assistant, by then called Fernandez Gomedi Silvia, who later on rose to the ranks of becoming the president of International Criminal Court. It has taken us time, energy, efforts, resources to investigate the corruption scandal that have rocked the International Criminal Court. Why should African countries continue to be in the ICC, yet even the superpowers like America saying no, we have enough courts to try our own people? Viewers, it has taken Americans over 20 years to listen to our voices when we told Rainburger in Nairobi that this court is a corrupt court.
Today, on the eve of September the 11th, I want to deliver a clear and unambiguous message on behalf of the President of the United States. The United States will use any means necessary to protect our citizens and those of our allies from unjust prosecution by this illegitimate court. We will not cooperate with the ICC. We will provide no assistance to the ICC, and we certainly will not join the ICC. We will let the ICC die on its own. After all, for all intents and purposes, the ICC is already dead to us.
A case of the Kenyan people. These cases in Kenya, the chief prosecutor called Fatou Bensouda put serious statements at the end of the cases, discharge and termination. In legal language, these cases pose a very serious threat in the future. What the people of Kenya can do, and they should do, is today to wrap up the work envelope. Because until this envelope is sealed, thrown in Indian Ocean, the chief prosecutor in the future will come and look for that envelope, use it to incriminate people again. It brings me back to the situation. America is sealing its journey out of the ICC. Why do you wait? Why don't you take this opportunity to seal your journeys out of the ICC? America is quitting, warning that it cannot no longer be a party to such an obnoxious court, a court that has no powers, that talks from this side and vomits from the other side, a court that cuts and pastes evidence, a court that buys witnesses, a court that incites incentives, gives incentives to witnesses of a passport and a relocation, then you tell lies about people. A court that sentences you as per the words there. Why should you leave a country that has a jury that checks on what the judges would do, the excesses of judges, and go to a country, a court that has no jury? Time has come for Africa to think. Do we need this court? Does Africa need this court?
In the fight against corruption, it has been demonstrated throughout the world that unless you sustain the war, and it is a war, remember that there are individuals, not only in Nigeria, but throughout the world, who suckle from the breasts of corruption. And they are not just about to win themselves off the suckling. They must be forced out of it, and they'll fight back. Because there are individuals, even in government, in all sectors of government, who now take their children to school on the basis of money corruptly acquired. They live in houses that are corruptly acquired. They do everything on the basis of things that are acquired through corruption. So when you want to stop it, they are going to kill you. They are going to ensure that you are neutralized. These are the people that you are fighting against, because these are individuals whose conscience is dead. and they are going to do anything on earth to prevent you. In fact, when one chooses to fight corruption, one must remember that he or she can't be eliminated at all times. And what President Buhari and indeed any other president in the world must do is to recruit the population. If the population has been wedded to the idea that corruption is a bad thing, then that is the beginning of the success of that battle. When I see, for example, your former Minister for Petroleum being investigated in the United Kingdom without being a sadist, I'm very happy. Because if you look at the wealth that he is alleged to have accumulated, that is unexplained wealth. Even if she lived for 1,000 years, she would never make that kind of money. James Seabury, who was prosecuted, convicted, and served sentence in the United Kingdom. What lacks in Africa is punishment. Impunity is alive and well in Africa. And we, the electorate, as I say, times without number, are in the business of celebrating thieves. We must stop. Yesterday, Barrister Farana said it very well, that we camouflage theft by giving them nice English names: money laundering, fraud, embezzlement, and all those veneers that make them look as if it is some kind of nice game. Let us call these men and women by the right name. They are thieves, stealing on an industrial scale. They are murderers. And once we begin to call them like that, and they have a mark of Cain upon their forehead, and we shun them. Has it been done in African countries? Yes, it has been done. And I keep on repeating, in countries such as Tanzania, they are being dealt with. In Rwanda, they are being dealt with. In Mauritius, they are being dealt with. In Botswana, they are being dealt with. Once you begin to deal with them, then the others who may want to behave like them will begin to take the cue. We must, in the nature of things, earn what we earn through the sweat of our brow. That is the only way in which Africa will realize their potential. Many of these individuals who are in positions of leadership in Africa don't want to leave because they are thieves. And they are scared. They are scared that if they left office, they would be prosecuted. And my view is that they should be prosecuted. You know, individuals such as Hissène Habré, who we know what he did, was it in Chad, are a good example to the leadership that impunity will not thrive. Because I've been talking to a friend of mine from the Cameroons who tells me what is happening in their country right now. And other African countries are blind to it. It doesn't even occupy the headlines of the neighboring newspapers, of the country's neighbors' newspapers. Yet the Cameroon now should be in the same position as we see the conflict in Catalan in Spain. Yet we are attacking it in page 13 in newspapers in Nigeria, in Liberia, and other countries. The time has come that Africa must learn and realize that the world is not bothered about Africa. The world is only bothered about Africa when they want to take the resources of Africa. Then they bother. They want oil, they bother. And I'm using the word bother in a very deliberate fashion, not in the traditional orthodox fashion. They bother when they want to take our timber. They bother when they want to take our bauxite, when they want to take our cocoa, when they want to take our uranium. But they don't bother about us. They come to our continent without disrespecting the elephant, and they want to preserve the elephant so that they can come and watch the elephant, but they don't care if 100 Africans die. They want to preserve our monkeys. They want to preserve our leopards and our other animals, but they don't care about us. To them, Africa is a zoo of sorts. And until the day that we Africans realize that we are on our own, we are going nowhere. And very soon they are going to shut us out, if they have not shut us out already. We'll not go to the United States of America, we'll not go to Europe, and I'm happy that we are being forced to stay in Africa. Let us stay in Africa and build Africa. I mean, what does Africa lack in terms of resources? What do we lack? If it is solar energy, which continent is capable of producing solar energy to light this continent and the entire earth? If it is hydroelectricity, what can we not generate? If it is minerals, if we wanted to make bombs, if we should, where do they get their uranium from? If it is timber, what don't we have? If it is human resources, we are 2 billion of us. And we are people who have intelligence. And yet we are kept in a constant state of conflict. The Europeans, the French persuading their former colonies that they are more French than they are Yoruba. They are more French than they are Wolofs and Mandinkas. The British persuading us that we are more British than we are Ibibio or Yoruba. And of course, when we find ourselves in that schizophrenic state, then we engage in internal conflict and they sell their arms to us. Tell me, which African country makes guns? None. I think Africans must recognize that bad governance is harmful to their very well-being, not only for the current generation, but generations yet to be born. This is a continent that has always had potential. These are a people that have always had potential. But since we regained our independence from the colonialists, African leaders in many countries have consistently demonstrated that they are not working in the interest of their people. And that is sad, because many of the individuals who occupied positions of leadership are still beholden to the colonial masters. We see former French colonized nations, leaders who are beholden to Paris, those who are colonized by Portugal, beholden to Lisbon, those who are colonized by Belgium, beholden to Brussels, those colonized by the United Kingdom, beholden to London, and the single
It is ridiculous and it is against the laws of nature that we can have somebody sitting pretty who takes home more money than the credible entrepreneur who is doing actual production of goods and services.
We always say it as it is.
It is only in this country that when a thief is arrested, you hear elders from their tribe saying, "He is our son and he is our thief."
If you are deviant
Yes.
and I call you leader,
Yes.
probably you are already a leader, but you are leading in the wrong direction.
We want to see the role of the youth
Yeah.
in the security,
Yes.
governance,
Yes.
and development.
The youth that I meet and work with here, you know, we call them the millennials and X's and Y's, this and that. They don't necessarily want to live like their fathers and grandfathers, do business like their fathers and grandfathers. They're more independent, they're better educated, and they're the ones that are making everything move in this region.
We look at the issues, we talk about issues that impact people's lives in Africa.
The African peoples themselves continue to cheer bad leaders, and because they cheer them on, they continue to be misled.
Let me ask you, doctor, would you rather be somebody who does not enjoy so much freedom but you are rich?
Yes.
Or you'd rather be poor who you are actually imprisoned by the poverty itself?
My goal is not to come here and say, I want the majority ownership, I want to own this, I want to own that, I want to do this. My goal is we all make money and we're all happy, and I help build a big business here.
Punchline is for Africa, with Africa, from Africa. Good morning, viewers. Welcome to Punchline Africa TV, broadcasting all the way from Nairobi, the Republic of Kenya. Good morning, together with Miriam Ogutu. We are on the stage, set it to go. And here we are. Good morning, Africans, wherever you are in Tripoli. Yes, General Khalifa continues killing unabated. AU watching as Tripoli falls in the hands of terrorists. Again, for the second time, they watched Gaddafi went down. Now they are watching another terrorist is hammering, pounding the city as the people of Tripoli live in fear, agony, pain, and anguish. Good morning. Good morning in Harare. Regime change seems to be nearing. This afternoon, in the people's courts, we shall look at regime change. Is it catching up? Is it revived? Are there sleeper cells on this continent? We see everywhere active sleeper cells working against our people, the legitimate elected governments. Are we suffering from the hangover of a colonial master watching over us, making sure we don't make any progress? As for a step we go forward, he brings us backwards. Is Africa seeing these things? Back in Kenya, the situation is, are there daring thieves, daringly stealing money? Karuru, Galula, Galulana, or Galuka, what do you call it, Miriam? Test the microphones, man.
It's Galana Kulalu.
Galana.
Kulalu.
Galana
Kulalu. Galana Kulalu.
Galana Gulalu farm. Is it a mystery, a bush? Is it a bush?
They use about
580 million for clearing the bush.
yes.
But I see the bush. Hey, what is happening in Kenya? Which bush did they clear? Did they clear the bush in the Congo forest? The bush is still there. The farm hasn't worked out. Production is not there. The rice is not there. Everything is not there. My God, tomatoes, what? What did we, maize is not there. Are we heading for daring thieves that steal property of the government in broad daylight and run around and boast and tell us there is no money lost, nothing went wrong? Now, Galana, it was supposed to be a project. We lease land to Israel. So if the government leased the land, why should the government lose money from a leased land? We would like to see some of these contracts, because some of these contracts are the ones creating more theft, corruption in Kenya. Jesus, we move on, daring thieves. Then we have another lot of missing links in the war against corruption. The missing link is the judiciary. Is it working? Is it moving? Has it lost moral bearing? I know Maraga goes to church. He's not corrupt. I have not seen any corrupt tendencies, except complaints about incompetence, which are normal in Africa, that people can criticize you for being incompetent. So are we in the right direction in Africa? We see the direction of morality dropping angles. Angle from 360 back to 27 degrees. We have dropped, gone back. Morals are gone. People are doing the things they want. Everybody is for himself, God for us all. Is there a regime change in the offing? The last part of our show this morning, the last part of our show this morning is one of the best, a regime change tactics justifiable in some countries. Are there people in some countries that need regime change? Cameroon, our friends from the south, those friends of ours we have struggled with in Cameroon, Ambazonia. Don't you think we need a regime change in Ambazonia, in Cameroon? All these questions will be placed before you, Miriam. Thank you.
Thank you too, and a very good morning to you. Yes, we have a really exciting show. And
I saw that
yes.
before you go, Miriam had forgotten Africa News Headlines
yes,
by Miriam Ogotu.
yes.
Take it over.
So I just do the headlines now.
Yeah, you can comment on mine. I had forgotten protocol. This morning I woke up working so early at 4 a.m.
Oh, you at the radio? Did you go to?
No, I didn't. I worked. There were too many telephone calls, too many things to fix internationally. But I will be working on the radio from tomorrow. But I had to fix so many things to pick up quite a number of exciting things. Miriam, I tell you,
Okay.
we are in a shocker. Africa is in a shocker. Yes, I leave it to you now. Miriam is in a shocker. Daring thieves stealing 6 billion shillings from a dam, a project that is not working. Are these people not daring?
It's
They cleared a bush which was not a forest. Are these people not daring?
It's daring, but what has enabled them to think they could do that and get away? Because we in this country, they're no, you can do whatever you want and get away with it. That guy is here, is still walking around a free man. Why? It's like we don't have a government that really could apprehend these people. So that is the problem. People can think they can come in and do whatever they want, and they do that, and nobody makes them accountable. So, yeah, we're here talking about it every day.
We've lost the moral bearing.
Yes.
The moral bearing is gone. We lost it. Thank you very much. Viewers, let's engage Miriam as I reorganize my points, ready to come back to punch the daring thieves of Kenya who steal money open in the morning and disappear with Galuna. What is it called?
Galana.
Galana.
Kulalu.
Let me now stick with Galana.
Galana, yes, in
Because the other word is bringing a problem to my tongue.
I just said the dam in Tana River that never was.
A scheme.
Yes. It's very sad.
Hot air.
It's very sad, yes.
Fees. Is this where we have? But this morning we had very good news, Miriam. President Uhuru Kenyatta has opened a mortgaging scheme that allows you to borrow money without collateral.
How that
Without
work?
collateral. Yes.
That's
for
a cute-
service, for building, for doing business, for doing whatever you can. Banks have come together to lend people without, some people you have just come off the university. You don't have any security. Someone asks you, go and bring a logbook. You don't have a logbook.
But really, there has to be some minimum requirement. When I go there with
Of course, you fill the forms.
Financial plan.
That's why they need the Huduma number.
A business plan. Or things
Huduma
like that.
number.
Huduma number is for tax.
No, Huduma number is very good.
Bottom
Do you
line.
know that let me tell you, those people who think that there's a problem. Zimbabwe does not arrest a traffic offender unless you have just killed people.
Oh, in Zimbabwe?
Yes. They give you a ticket. Ask me why. Ask.
Because they expect you to appear in court.
Yes, and ask me why. Why? Go on.
Just explain. I'm listening.
Yes. They do that because everybody in Zimbabwe has an identity card number.
Okay. We have a
Metallic.
Okay.
Not even a paper which you can forge. Metallic. A metallic, very well organized, which you can only, you can't go to that extent to manufacture it.
So they have gadgets to you swipe you that they can.
No, they know everybody in Zimbabwe is documented. They have documented their people. Once police stops you at a roadblock, they will give you a producer to appear in court. to appear in court on Monday or Tuesday. If you don't, police will come for you. They know where you live. Ian Smith made that country very organized, like Britain. So he did not know that he would leave it for us black people. Even when he left us, we black people for it, we have not spoiled it. Zimbabwe has not been spoiled. Zimbabwe infrastructure is the greatest on African continent. Because you can go, if you don't come, police, Zimbabwe Republic police will look for you in the ghetto. They will get you. You know why? Your ID will still remain. This number will show in the court records. You did not appear. Crime has gone down. Anybody with a gun is known through that number. Okay. Do you know there are more guns in Zimbabwe than there are in Kenya? Because almost everybody is armed. Was a liberation hero. An armed veteran. But they don't shoot each other. Civilized.
So the crime is low.
The crime rate in Zimbabwe, gun-related crime rates in Zimbabwe is the lowest in Southern Africa. But you go across Limpopo.
Oh, that's different.
Where Marema shouts every day, Marema, opening his mouth.
Daring.
Too many guns.
Yes.
They come during that time and they kill you.
Yeah.
Across Limpopo, no gun. Give Mugabe and Mnangagwa and the others a credit. They have managed to control a situation where they suffer from economic hardship. But they will never kill each other by guns. Look at us here. Look at us in Kenya. Look at us in Uganda. Look at us in Somalia. Look at us in South Sudan. South Sudan. Imekufa. South Sudan is gone. It's gone. Broken to pieces. Guns. The Huduma number is very important. It will trace you to get that loan. You will not run away. I am very happy with what one MP, whom I have never liked in my life, is my friend, Mr. Koech. The man, the brownie guy, he's on the wrong side of politics, but in the right side of situation. Mr. Koech has brought a motion to remove this, to repeal the law of blacklisting people for even 10 shillings of non-payment, which is at times politically motivated.
Really?
Yes.
If you own M-Pesa,
you don't own M-Pesa.
What does that have to do with politics?
Let me tell you, you don't 10 shillings to Safaricom, which hammers us every day. What is it to blacklist a black African? No, you tell me what is the rationale.
You should pay.
Yeah, paying, that is okay, but paying in a society where other structures are not working, you are going to end up politicizing the payment.
See, now the politics are coming in when people are supposed to get away with not payment. If you take a loan, you pay.
That is agreed.
Yes.
Miriam, you take a loan, you pay. Why are the big lenders, no, the big loan defaulters not being chased?
They should tell us why they've allowed, why they're not chasing them. The people are supposed to chase them. Why are they not chasing them? You
are not seeing it because the structure is not there.
So
that's why we need to repeal the law.
It's broken from head down.
Yes. We need to repeal the law.
Yes.
To meet somewhere in the middle.
In the middle, yes.
So that the lower man of 10 shillings and the higher man of billions does not. They are not on the same.
They don't suffer the same.
And they are also now served at the same level.
Okay.
But the law as it is now today of the BR, what is it called? BR?
CBR, yes.
BRC?
CBR, yes.
CBR.
Yes.
Is very skilled. Someone will know that Miriam works in a television station X. Aha! Uyo, Shika. You know, the people have gone to misuse data.
Okay.
People's data. You default or you disagree with the bank, you disagree with the payments, they rush you to BRC.
So this guy Koech, what is it that he's proposing?
He has gone to repeal to finish it.
That is different
to take it away.
So you can get away with non-payment?
No.
Okay, you work a proper way.
A proper method before you reach to register to blacklist a human being.
Okay.
There must be steps, remedies.
But will this not...
In a society, in a society where we don't have remedy, Miriam, we don't have social worker, we don't have community worker, we don't have employment worker, we don't have employment agency. Let's go on mission, Mama. Do we have them? Retirement benefit agency. Do we have it? It is there in black and white. But how many people get their checks at the end of the month?
My father has never received all his check from NSSF, so I know that for
Thank you. Add the trouble.
that for sure.
Add my troubles. Add my troubles.
But still, that is not a trouble. He's okay. My dad is
yes.
okay. But
but you are looking. We are looking at the truth of what Kenyans.
But still,
the point of this new remortgage finance scheme is to give low-income, non-security owners some access to where, not that the money is going to be given anyhow. You must come with your land, with your plan, with your agency. You say, this is what I want to do. This is the house I want to build. This is the plan.
So you come with a very good
then they will go and value and say, okay, you pay back. This is the much you pay back to us.
The interest.
Not interest. Pay back to the bank. Because the bank will be coming. You will have a smaller book at the end of the month where people pass by and then 50.
Okay.
200 shillings.
Yes.
Until if you leave it to your husband or your wife, or you leave it to your children, they continue with that kabuku. That's the scheme. Now the government is talking.
So they're looking out for the common man.
Exactly. Government is talking. That's a very good scheme. President Uhuru Kenyatta, thank you very much this morning, has just launched it.
All right, that's good.
It's a good scheme. Good news come after months.
So all banks are involved in this?
Yes, banks and the World Bank gave in money. African Development Bank gave in 10 billion. And the World Bank gave 25 billion. And then the Central Bank of Kenya and the local banks here put in a pool. The money will be there.
Okay.
The youths will be able. The first house owners, remortgage. You can go in and apply and start building.
Yeah,
two-bedroom.
But see, as a Kenyan, I'm sitting here and I'm very skeptical of this. There have been projects that have come up in the past, the Youth Empowerment Project, the Women Empowerment Project, money is being given. Until today, nobody's accounting for it. So as a Kenyan, it's a very wonderful and very ambitious plan, but I'll see how it works out and then I'll believe it.
Because we have to be...
I'm looking at the past track record and I'm judging
from that. The past track record, we have to blame ourselves also.
No.
We are thieves.
I did not steal.
Most of us are thieves.
Those people who stole, they should just be called out.
Yes, most of us are thieves.
Made to take responsibility.
Most of us, the younger men you see here, go down after the first, you get, for example, Miriam, you get your loan. And then you go and tell the other one, can we organize?
Yes.
Then another one said, no, now, how many are we? You do change the name.
Yes, the requirement was like 8 people.
Yes.
Yeah.
Change the name and we go back. So as much as we want to point the fingers at the government failure, let's also point the fingers at the morals.
At our own selves,
The moral equilibrium in this country is lost.
Yeah, but also
can we tackle those first, then before you go to your African news?
I think that it's a very good plan, and if well done, and politics doesn't get into it, and thievery does not become part of it, I think it's good. All they need to work is a very proper structure in which actually the people who are supposed to benefit from this will benefit from it. Because at the end of the day, they come in with very good, wonderful projects, especially the Jubilee government. But the people who are meant to benefit from it, you find that very few people now steal the money or something happens. So the Mwananchi somewhere there, Mama Mboga or somebody who's really looking forward to go get this loan that normally they will not get in a normal bank because they don't have the collateral needed, I'm sure they're very excited about this, and I am. So hopefully there's a proper structure that will make sure the people who are supposed to benefit from such a noble initiative actually do benefit from it. Proper structure.
Yes, if there is proper structure, that's why then, Medium, we go back to the thing we have done already. You and I, we are all right.
Yes.
You want to access anything in this system,
Yes.
get your Huduma number. It is going to be important. If the Huduma number is finished, that every Kenyan has got it, you will not see some of these problems. You know why? Those who are fraudulent will run away. I'm telling you. If they are well kept in a data point, keep them in India.
Okay.
In fact, you know, I want to give a very good suggestion to President Uhuru Kenyatta.
They keep the data in India.
Very far, yes. In Britain, the gas,
Yes. Yeah.
British gas, the man repairing your gas leakage is not in London. The man repairing your electricity meter is not in London. The man answering your telephone call, British Telecom, is not in London. The man answering anything that is electronic is not in London. It's not. There is no way in London what we have are the physical employees. Have you seen that? But the real man who said, there's a private company, sector X, in your book, your area where you live in London, there is a yellow pages. Yellow pages helps you to find a plumber. A plumber will come, will say, I'm an agent of British Gas. I have got this order transmitted on phone with a slip printed out from India. So the people in Kenya who are worried about data, the government should look for a country where nobody, not even government officials, have no access to the data. I always give suggestions, and this television station should be thanked for bringing in very serious, candid solutions to some of the problems. Because some of the people who have been saying there is a problem with a Huduma number are worried about their data, security of their details.
I am worried, to be very sincere, but I took the Huduma number because I think it's important. But I'm worried.
Yes. that is the position. We can keep these things because there's nobody. If you call that number 0800 something 12349666,
Yes.
India,
It takes
24 hours. The woman is online. Hello, emergency. Within 3 minutes.
They'll have somebody at your doorsteps.
I swear.
That's good.
Call police in London. That there is someone is beating me. Just try to cry. They say, well, they will not. I'm being beaten here. The police will not ask you much. They say, put down your phone. Within 2 minutes, the police will know where your phone is, which house it is. They will be outside your door. Why are we refusing Huduma number in Africa? We don't want them. We don't want to document ourselves. Stop a driver on Malaba Road, running to Malaba, and stop him. He comes out of the car. The British police will look at you. 6.1 feet. Over 6.1 feet. Thank you very much. We need to, he has got a scar on the left hand side. Yes, the name is David. David who? Yes. Any other names used? Yes. Boo, 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 boo. Address, yes, they know. Look, this Huduma number helps you.
Yes.
It will help police institutions to track down crime, to finish crime, to remove crime. These things are happening. There is no country in the world which is not doing Huduma number, which is not documenting its people. In Uganda, we are getting identity cards and numbers. In Uganda today, there are new passports, new identity, new everything, new driving license.
All right, but I think,
so the question of threatening, that is which rumor mongering, peddling, scaremongering, Huduma number will help.
Will help us.
And will help in tracking defaulters of this money of remortgage finance. Because this money is for ordinary wananchi Kenyans. The banks have added on the 35 billion, banks have added billions. So you are able to build a house, a good house in the house, in Siaya, in Gem, in Turkana, in Malindi, in Hora, in Migori, in Kisii, in Nyamirati, in Kericho. You can go and build a house, a 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom, borrow it, have a book, they will come to collect the money. In doing so, we are increasing employment for those who collect the money. Digital, you can't make digital. You say now, Uyo Miriam, 2 months he has not paid. Watakuona kwa digital. Sababu your number will not be functioning. What has happened?
So the debt collectors now will be coming physically.
Yes, final decision to take the debt collector. The debt collector comes when options have been given. Here, the banks collude with these men of agency.
The auctioneers.
No, yes, the banks work with auctioneers. They have already got another person to buy your property.
It's normally terrible.
They have not. So this Koech, Honorable Koech, the MP from the Rift Valley, my great friend, go ahead with that motion. In fact, dissolve these BRCs. The structures in Kenya have not reached that level, Jamen. Allah, you are harassing people with things that don't. You can only do a BR something in London.
CBR, yes.
CBR in London, because they will get you on the address. Unless you have shifted, even when you have shifted, you must be drinking medicine somewhere. They will catch you in a hospital. Yes, going for hospital, unless you say you got Jesus, who does not get sick. But even Jesus got tired at a certain time and they said, there is a Sabbath, Sunday. Don't take me to preaching, or you want me to go there.
And talking about sickness, I love who is saying he's missed us, he's been sick. Hopefully you get better. Sorry for that. Get better.
We are coming to,
yes.
Even if you are sick, we are coming on Cameroon now. And we are going to talk about Abazonia in a few minutes. In the next stage upstairs on the top of the hour. So morals have collapsed. Kenyan judges, morals, Petier, finished. There's nothing left. Nothing. What is left there? They are beginning to do something. I was happy. I was impressed. Maraga showed some signs in the last 3 cases. He has shown some signs. Very good. That he is able to ask for the file before you release those people. I want to see the file. That's what a judge should do. I want to see those files. You come, you 3 judges come to my chamber.
The high public interest cases.
Yes.
Okay.
Why should you sentence a man who cut cats in Nakuru in a day, and then release a thief who stole us, who finished our embassy? A thief who has destroyed our relationship with the dreaded man.
The same thief is representing the Senate in Hong
Yes,
Kong for an
and we have left him to go free.
For an anti-corruption.
How can Watangula go and do an
convention.
anti-corruption case
It's the irony of it all.
Irony. Africa has got problems. Anyway, the case of Wetangula is before the courts, before the investigators. They see the truth about it. They have said the tape was correct. So those who wanted to kill me because of the tape, now you know. You know, Mr. DPP, you know. I did not publish the tape, which is fake. I published the right tape. And I will publish more. I have more, which I'm holding on fire online. Short warning. I'll release them. Whether here or London, I'll release them. Will you control me? You can't control me even in London that don't release the tapes because I will have obtained them. We want to get rid of these corrupt guys to shame them. You think Wetangula can sleep properly with the girls he always seduces on planes?
We can't. Okay, you have evidence to that?
Yes.
That is
very serious evidence. Miriam, you don't get involved there. I have evidence. Disclaimer, know you.
Okay.
Serious. You can't sit with Moses. By the time, what type of man is this? Serious evidence. We need to shame. You are the one who's saying people have to pay. We must shame some people.
Yeah, but that is his personal life, so let's just leave it alone.
It can't be personal when you are a leader. If you are a leader, why do you do things of that nature?
Yeah.
Why? Surely a leader. How do you do some things? How do you drop Raila Odinga's name? In order to eat, in order to feed your wife? You drop Raila. Have I dropped Uhuru Kenyatta's name here to eat? I could be having a lot of money. I could. I am telling you frankly. This is how we must teach people. If you're a leader, a senator, what? Don't drop people's names.
Yes.
Why do you use Raila's name to con a man, a country? You use Matianga's name to con a country. What do you think? Now they want to, the topic is here. They want to indict Matiang because the name was used.
But you know, they've been looking for a way to get rid of Matiang.
Yeah, instead of them saying they hate Matiang direct.
For the time it became this super CS.
Yes, they have now used Matianga's name. We want to indict him. You indict him because somebody has said, I was also sitting near the side, you indict him.
And I think he responded here, and the CS Matiangi, he said, you don't expect me to respond to whether fraudsters mentioned my name in what is an active investigation. So it's a good thing, you know. He's quiet, so he's not going to respond.
Can I tell you?
Do their job, yes.
This whole thing goes beyond, and we say it as it is. The people who sell cards in State House, when you are going for functions, Itumbi and a group used to sell cards, 50,000, 100,000, VIP, VVIP. You reach the place. These guys have brought in friends, ladies. They are all seated, well dressed. They go and get Max and Spencer clothes to you from where? And you arrive with your card, which has been given to you by government. You stand there, everybody looks people try. Even security men who are waiting for their bosses say, Dr. Matanga, come and sit here a bit before we look for you a place. We created an enemy into State House by creating boys who are bayaye.
Bayaye. What is that?
Lumpen proletariat working around the president, misinforming and creating a very bad precedent of selling. Even if, how can a thief, a conman like a Gerard Otieno have access with a selfie? He must have been brought by these media gurus who claimed that they were media gurus. You see where the trouble came from.
Gerard Otieno took a selfie with who?
Several selfies. You saw them on the media, didn't you?
I just saw the photos of him at the wedding.
And the several with Raila, several with the president, everywhere. Another guy from Kisii took.
Zahir is the one who took with everybody, yes.
Even Otieno.
Yes. Oh, okay. Wow.
The master of the gold mines. Imaginary gold mines of Shaka Zulu.
Shaka Zulu.
Yeah, you remember the gold mines?
Yes.
Solomon King Solomon Mines, Gerard Otieno, shame. They took service with Raila, they go and molest Raila's name. They are not talking. You think a thief like that, he has gone back to his house because he's already not captured.
Yeah.
He's staying, but whose name is being misused? Raila's name. President's name. Matianga's name. Deputy President's name. Because you were bending for the camera to see you talking to Deputy President. Then you take the picture to Sheikh of Saudi Arabia. You see, I have his ear. I wish they cut that hair off.
But Zahir was saying he's waiting to be called in for questioning, and nobody has summoned him for questioning.
He might have also gone to Hong Kong.
He's around. He's been giving interviews in...
no, he gave one interview.
Over the weekend.
Since then, he's under hiding. If he had been on the surface, he would be in the surface area somewhere. Mama, did them tell you no lie?
So can you really hide away from the state, really? If the
yeah,
state
you throw the phone somewhere.
Wanted to capture you.
Didn't Wetangula leave his real phone in the restaurant in the Westland? And I jumped through the back door, jumped into a taxi to Heathrow Airport. Sorry, what is the airport here? Jomo Kenyatta International Airport. Got the nearest flight that was leaving Kenya. Because the sloughs were looking for him. And he left. So when the CI reached the bodyguards, they thought he was there. He had left the phone.
They're tracing the
It
phone.
was a story. He jumped. I can tell you, I don't want to embarrass the hotel where he went through the exit of emergency. Because the owner of the hotel is my friend. So let me keep it quiet.
All right. And maybe
but it's an embarrassment for a whole senator to go through the kitchen when people are asking him, what has happened? They are cooking their food for the hotel. Then you are running through the kitchen, which is an exit route. You know? So these are some of the things that has brought Africa to where we are.
Yeah.
These are the things that have tainted this nation. These are the things that we need to fight, to help the government to fight. Morals are gone. Morality. You see, when you reach a point where somebody is beating you, if you reach a point that a man is beating a wife in the house, there must be something wrong. The morals have gone. Women are never beaten. Women are talked to. Yes. I don't think you will accept your daughter to be beaten and it comes with wounds everywhere.
No, I'll jail you. There's no conversation on that. Just even point at me. We have a problem.
you are talking of morals.
Yeah, we'll have a problem. I'll take action.
Have you seen the evidence? The man was beaten and the wife threw him out with bandages. Who? Tangula, didn't you see the bandage?
That is personal. I really don't.
Yeah, but it is not personal. You are the same one on the same situation.
Because we don't know what really happened. We were not there. We just saw the bandages.
So the best thing is to avoid those type of morality.
Yes, and also because he was beaten with the bandage. I think just violence is bad, period. Whether it's a man or a woman being beaten, it should be condemned by all means necessary.
Yes. And the morals begin that way. If you see, had people squeezed that case of the wife of Moses with bandages, they would have found the character of the man.
Okay.
Have we squeezed Moses on the embassy of torture, where he himself directed for physical cash to be carried, then turned on my friend called Twitter Mwangi, left Twitter Mwangi to kill his career, to carry the cross, and he came to political public life to say, hey, I am a very good person. Stupid. I have no man. No. How do you don't know? I can bring you so many things. So many things. Let's talk about them in unfiltered if you want.
In the afternoon.
Yes, unfiltered. Create one of these days. This is very bad. Have you seen an MP when he arrives at the constituency, all male occupants remove their wives to a certain area.
Who is that MP?
Let's leave it.
Is he the king of Swaziland? Who has 70 wives?
Miriam, you are trying me.
No, stop.
You
I'm
are
just
pushing
asking.
me to say
I'm just asking.
the king of Swaziland.
He's the one who has many wives.
15.
So the younger men get worried because
Yes.
all the good.
But
ladies-
there are MPs here. When they arrive their constituencies,
the men get worried.
yes,
That there's something you're not doing right as a man if you're worried that your woman will be taken with another man. As a man, you need to question your role and your responsibilities towards your woman.
Miriam,
Yes,
are you the only lady in?
I'm just saying because
Are you the only lady in Jerusalem?
I'm just saying it's not easy to just for someone's wife to just do some things. It has to be as at home you're failing as a man, and that is the truth.
Can we bring this
I'm not
in social? You are failing as a man.
I'm not a relationship expert, so I really don't want to.
No, you are failing as a man
give unsolicited
when you don't
advice.
have even cash.
It's
No,
it's never
you
about
don't. You don't
cash.
have because some
It's
men
never about
fail.
cash. It's
Because
never,
no, they fail because if a man like this one who has got 400 million arrives in a city, in a town,
so what is 4 million?
400 million.
I mean, money is not everything, and that's where men completely go wrong.
I don't know.
Have you not seen women with wonderful cars that the husbands had bought them and beautiful mansion that has kept him, but the money is never there? Guess what she does? The driver or the gardener. So it's never about the money. It's never about the money. When men will get that point right, the day men will understand that point, then you'll have very happy marriages.
I don't know what we can do here, but I think
From where I
Stephen
stand.
can come in to tell us whether there is a.
The day the men will understand money and what. We work, we have careers, we can do those things for ourselves, really. So it's never about that. So the day men will understand, it's bottom line, it's not really that. Then you'll have very happy relationships because now you'll know what is the priority in your homes. Yes. So on that note, do I do the African news? Bishop Matanga, professor. Yesterday somebody called you professor.
I will soon.
You'll be a professor.
I'm just remaining with the 2 stages: publication and the journals.
Okay.
Yeah, and I will move to that professorship.
Good.
But did the State House block route of trips to US, Canada?
Yes.
What did I tell you?
Because it was seen as if it's an extension of his campaign.
Yes.
Yeah. Why are we campaigning now? I don't
I'm
understand.
asking you.
Why are we campaigning now? Why is the country in a campaign mode? It makes me very uncomfortable. We have until 2022. Can we at least reach the end of 2020? It's very uncalled for. Creating unnecessary tension in the country. So yeah, he was
This
blocked
campaign.
because he was going to use public money anyway.
Yes, you can't use public money to enhance the 2022.
Your personal.
Yes.
Yeah.
For example, some of us are going to use our private money to go to Johannesburg for the. I have been invited by the ANC.
Oh, you're going for the.
Oh yes, thank you very much, ANC, for the invite.
You're going to do what?
Inauguration of Zuma of Ramaphosa.
Oh, you're going for the. When is the date? Remind me, I've forgotten.
Saturday.
Oh, not this Saturday. Oh, that's very good. So you're going to, will it be in Cape Town or Johannesburg? Oh, you're not sure.
It's in Pretoria.
Oh, Pretoria, that's good.
But I will be staying in, I've been booked in, usually in South Africa, I don't sleep outside outside the airport. I sleep near the airport, but out a bit outside the airport. Like there's Intercontinental. As soon as you get out of the airport, there is Intercontinental.
Okay.
Oliver Tambo Intercontinental.
Is there a reason why you sleep near the airport? Oh, the traffic is bad or what?
That is one.
Okay.
Thank you very much. The second one, train. Taking that train from airport to town, Sandytown. Very bad train. Your luggage might be stolen.
Okay.
Thieves are very many there in the train. And I'd hate running with suitcases.
But they have taxis, I believe.
Even when a taxi, some of the taxis are not very good taxis.
Okay.
The traffic alone, even in the taxi.
But normally, if the hotel you're going, if I travel somewhere and I'm going to a hotel,
Yes.
then I expect the hotel to send me the details to come pick me up. That's what I do.
Yeah, but there's some hotels pick you up and take you where?
To
The hotel have
their
no
hotel.
helicopter.
To their hotel.
No helicopter.
Assuming the distance is short.
It's not even short.
Okay.
Most of the hotels are in central Johannesburg.
So it's a long drive.
It's a long drive.
Charter flight to connect? No?
Those who have money like him, he can chat
Like who?
like him. Yes.
Okay.
Me, I don't have money. If you have only gone with $2,000
Yes.
and you're spending like now, this ticket was bought by ANC. They have sent me a ticket.
That's good.
So I will just go and they have put me in a hotel. But I told them don't put me up there
Okay. Up where?
in Pretoria.
Okay.
I will find my accommodation. They said
right.
tick,
A
good.
good guest.
So they will send me only man to pick me at the airport
Yes.
with my ID card, the invitation. That's how they have limited it.
That's good.
As a Pan-African forum. This is the thing. This is why we tick in Africa.
That's good. That's good.
So we meet there. You sit there. They are not. There is no buying of seats. Hapa Kenya na Uganda tunanunua biti kuingia kukula chakula State House. You have to cough with 50,000. There the seat is there. The ticket is there.
Yes.
The card is there. Dr. David Nyekorach Matanga seat number this.
All right.
It is even, they have even computerized it.
Yes.
So at the airport, even the visa was given automatic. Send your passport and everything. It came. It's a state function.
It's a state. Yes. You
So these are some of the things, the privileges we Pan-Africans get. We are not getting money, but you are getting pumped to see a new South Africa coming up, united, a proportional representation South Africa.
Is it a new South Africa, really?
Yes, it will be without violence on the streets. Have you heard what is in Malawi? You are about to tell me. The counting hasn't even begun.
It started, actually.
Yes. And the leading man, you see, you cannot tell me now because it is very embarrassing. You know? The government has stuffed all the boxes. So what do you expect? A fight?
Yeah, the opposition are complaining about it.
Yes, by tomorrow some people will be like Malawi. Swimming. Yeah. Yeah, that's what governments do.
Swimming for fun or with the crocodiles.
No, crocodiles don't go near lakes.
So they'll be swimming.
They
with
go
what?
near the dirty waters, like a Tana River, the river. They don't go near the lake. The crocodile fear lake. The crocodile can be in a swamp, shallow end. So
And rivers.
yeah, but you are right. Lake Malawi to some extent has those muddy shrubs which come in.
The little tributaries,
Yes.
probably.
That's you are talking now. Let's go. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Morals in the judiciary of Republic of Kenya collapsed.
Yes.
The daring thieves that steal Gulana is gone. 6 billion, we've lost it.
We can't just lose that money. The government should really make a follow-up, a trailer, get this money back. 580 million used to clear bushes.
They used 580 million to clear a bush in Congo forest in Gulana. Pure box. Pure box.
I mean,
Pure box. Yes. P.O. box.
Government needs to go after them, should go after them.
The minister who was in charge is called Mr. Wamalwa.
He should be held accountable. He's still a minister, is he not?
Yes. When I saw so many people waiting for him in one hotel, and most of them are sharks, cartels, I knew there was going to be trouble. So forgive me, God, for having been here to witness another failure.
No.
As soon as Galana was announced, the minister Wamalwa became an angel.
A darling.
A darling. He even went with the rallies with somebody, almost denouncing President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. History does not cheat, Jamen. Because Galana money.
And why is this
now here we are?
Why is he still a minister in
No,
this
it has
government?
come. He cleared the bush of 580 million, clearing the bush. Where did they? 580 million. Where are the thickets?
They grew again. How long ago was that?
No, the thickets, but
they keep growing after a while.
I thought you clear then dig.
Yeah, that was
and
the
then
plan.
plant.
That was the plan.
Yeah. So it has grown.
If they just cleared, then the staff has grown back again. Yes.
Are you mitigating?
So they need
as
to go,
a lawyer,
they need to go. They need to go clear again.
I didn't know that you are becoming a lawyer.
I'm studying now law, actually.
Yes.
The unit I'm studying now, it's
law. So there is a possibility that the weeds came back very fast.
Well, it's raining and it's growing. The thicket.
Thank you very much, viewers, wherever you are in Africa. God bless you.
I'm not holding brief for anybody.
Neither am I, but I'm stating facts.
Yes, so if they cleared the 580 millions, I think they need more to go clear again.
Yes.
Because they'll get away with it anyway.
Thank you.
That is the impunity they're working with, because nobody really will go after them. And the minister, Wamalwa, he's still serving in this government, so I don't know what to say.
You didn't see Wamalwa in the first term of office, which is when the first 5 years of the president. Where was Wamalwa's public rallies? Whom was he publicly associated with?
I was not really following.
I follow everything.
You follow everybody, yes.
So there you are.
All right.
Now the rain has come home.
Yes, and the thickets have grown.
The thickets have grown.
The 580 went with the first.
Not even enough bags.
Yes.
To justify the 6.8 billion.
That is unacceptable. That is just unacceptable. And the government, the DCI, the offices that are responsible for investigating such should really get into the bottom of what happened at Galana. The same way they're investigating Aurora and CAMEROON dams. Yes.
Yes.
They should get.
Ufa Noxon Hogan sent the emails direct. Send the email direct to me. Send the email direct to me on my email, africastrategy@hotmail.com. For my attention. You can send emails to things that I don't, they might have, they are loaded. You know, this is a television station. There are so many loaded emails. We receive millions of emails. So at times we don't go through them. My email is africastrategy@hotmail.com.
Lowercase.
Lowercase.
africastrategy@hotmail.com.
Ufa Noxin.
He says
Hogan.
He's appalled. We are sorry.
We are sorry for that. We usually answer people as it is.
Yes.
Now send me an email now.
Yeah,
I will see it here. Thank you very much. It will come here automatically now. Test it. africastrategy@hotmail.com.
Good. I hope you've gotten that ufenoxin, and thank you for raising that concern. And hopefully you can write to a doctor's private email, and he will respond to whatever it is that you need help with. So thank you so much. This is, of course, Good Morning Africa. So I'll just go through what is making news headlines this afternoon. It's noon here in Nairobi, and then we look at some of the major stories across Africa before we get to our diaspora dispatches, which is their justifiable regime changes in Africa, with special attention to Cameroon. And we start with Sudan, where Sudan's Transitional Military Council is increasingly under pressure to resume talks with protest leaders after they stalled early on Tuesday. The US, UK, and Norway warned that any outcome short of a civilian-led authority may jeopardize Sudan's relation with the Western governments. Protest leaders have also urged their members to prepare for a general strike and a civil disobedience campaign, but have not yet announced a date. And still in Sudan, an Eritrean delegation that was dispatched by President Isaias Afwerki to neighboring Sudan met with leaders of the protest movement that topped Omar al-Bashir in April. The two-man delegation, comprising of Foreign Minister Osman Saleh and Presidential Advisor Imane Brad, met with the representatives of the Forces for the Declaration of Freedom and Change in Khartoum. They had earlier met with the leader and deputy of the Transitional Military Council that toppled President Bashir. And in Malawi, the counting of votes is underway in Malawi's fiercely contested presidential and parliamentary elections. The country's electoral commission says it has started receiving results from more than 5,000 polling stations across the country. This is the first time the results are being transmitted electronically to the National Tallying Center, and nearly 7 million voters registered for the elections to pick a next president, member of parliament, and local councils. And in Kenya, the country has deported 17 foreigners operating illegal betting businesses in the East African country. The local media have reported with the move coming barely a day after Interior Minister Fred Matiang'i threatened to repatriate foreigners who applied for different business permits and then changed to the betting trade. Among those nationalities that have been deported include Italians, Chinese, Spaniards, Serbians, South Koreans, Bulgarians, Danes, and Turks. And in South Africa, the government has turned down a request by the United States to extradite Mozambique's former finance minister Manuel Chang to stand trial on corruption charges. Instead, Mr. Chang will be extradited to Mozambique, where he is wanted on similar charges. And in Gabon, President Ali Bongo has sacked his vice president and his forestry minister. No reason was given, but the move comes in the wake of timber smuggling scandal. There have been calls for the resignation of the forest minister, Guy Bertrand Mapangau, after the disappearance of a large amount of Kevazingo wood. Kevazingo is rare and considered sacred, but prized in Asia for sculpting. And in Libya, the United Nations has condemned an attack on a water control station in Libya that has left the besieged capital Tripoli without running water. Gunmen reportedly stormed the station of Jabal al-Hassauna in southwestern Libya on Sunday, forcing the workers to cut off the flow of water to Tripoli and other cities in western and central parts of Libya. And in Ghana, thousands of protesters thronged the streets of Ghana's capital, Accra, yesterday to protest what they say is an attempt by the government to suppress free speech. Demonstrators say the closing down of two key pro-opposition radio stations, Radio XYZ and Radio Gold, by the National Communications Authority was engineered by political elements. And in Algeria, the protesters who are instrumental in bringing about the resignation of President Abdelaziz Bouteflika as Algeria's president last month are now threatening to boycott the country's presidential elections. The demonstrators remain unhappy that allies of former president, who was in power for 20 years, are still organizing the polls. Dozens of mayors also marched through the capital, Algiers, last weekend in support of the protesters, rejecting moves to go ahead with the presidential election, which are scheduled to take place on July 4th. And in Madagascar, anti-corruption agency has begun legal action against more than half of the country's parliamentary deputies who are suspected of taking bribes. After a year-long inquiry, a dossier on 79 MPs was sent to the prosecutor's office and to begin legal action against the accused. And in Cameroon, Cameroonians have celebrated their 47th National Day. It was marked by a military parade and civilian march past chaired by the head of state, Mr. Paul Biya. And we end with Angola, where the exhumed body of Angolan rebel chief Jonas Savimbi, who was killed in 2002, will be reburied in his hometown next month, authorities said after DNA tests confirmed the identity of the remains. The charismatic warlord who fought Angola's socialist government in a 27-year civil war was killed in a battle against the People's Movement for the Liberation of Angola forces on February 22nd, 2002. And that is the latest this afternoon from Africa. Thank you so much for watching us.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
For the news in Africa. I begin with Angola. May the soul of Savimbi rest in peace. Savimbi was a great guy, a great patriot, but he became a great sellout, dealing with CIA and other international agencies, making it very difficult for people of Angola to have independence. But in Africa, we have very many of those people. Remember, Savimbi was betrayed when he had just left Uganda, where he left millions of dollars worth of diamonds bought by mafia in Kampala, and he was sold satellite systems. On his way, the same satellite system provider directed it, and that is all. And they killed Savimbi.
Yeah. So
may his soul rest in peace, and may Angola remain united, a firm, dedicated African nation, ready to unite all the humble people. They were humble, and then the southern parts of Rwanda, because Angola is my other home because of the relationship that I have there. So I pray for them to be united and remain united. May God hold their hands and hold the hands of the people of Angola. Thank you.
Yes, indeed. And he led a civil war that lasted 27 years. Growing up, all I could hear is Angolan war, you know, as a very young child. That was something that featured a lot in the news. And so, yes, he was buried in a different place. But his remains are now will be reburied again in his hometown. So, yes, that is that. And of course, Eritrea has sent its delegation to meet with the Sudan Transitional, Council, the military council, and also the civilians. This is the second time I think the Eritrean delegation are doing this after the ousting of President Omar al-Bashir. But what really makes it very interesting is the state of even democracy and governance in Eritrea itself. Why would they find it necessary to be part of Sudan's, owing to the track record they have in Eritrea as a country in terms of governance and
let me tell
democracy?
You, it's stupid. It's stupid.
Yes, this is the second time.
What has Eritrea got
to do with anything?
It is exporting terrorism there. I'm telling you. And Dukulu, General Dukulu, don't listen to this. What it does, a fake as left people dying in the Mediterranean Sea. What are you trying to do? You are advising who to do what? Eritreans are dying in the Mediterranean Sea, that you also send a delegation.
Actually, in huge numbers. They're part of the Africans who are trying to access Europe.
Yes, and they come from Eritrea.
Yes.
What type of democracy is in Eritrea that you go and preach to democracy in Sudan?
Even governance.
It shows it to you that he is one of the supply lines. And Ethiopia should be not Ethiopia.
Sudan.
Sudan should be very careful that soon insurgents could crop up in Khartoum and in Sudan.
He seems to be having
The
interest.
killings in Somalia are who? Where do these Al-Shabaab go? Africans should stand up and tell the truth. Don't tell me lies about Ethiopia sending what? This guy is himself a problem.
Eritrea.
Yes. All these people who make us lose money and our lives, they hide there. Look at their passports. Look at where they go. They go to Eritrea. You Africans, you don't want to tell the truth that Eritrea is sending a delegation in Khartoum to do what?
This is the second time since the ousting of
They are
President
just
Umaro
sending a
Bashir.
delegation to go and survey how they will be doing terrorism there.
Okay.
Afaki was my friend. We worked together in the same office in London, in North London, in Islington and Highbury. He's a letdown in Africa. Three of us, Zenawi, myself, Afaki, Dr. Damba, Dr. Wafula, we were in the same office. When I was working at the Uganda Community Relief Association, he knows me. Let me remove the specs and so that you can see me. What are you sending in Khartoum? You are sending people to cause terrorism there. Ash, I'm not a diplomat here. What will I go to Eritrea to do what? This guy is a disgrace for us for a long time. We knew him, and that's how we knew him, how bad he was. Time has come for Africa to stand up and tell Buhari is bad, is bad. Beer is bad, is bad. Don't beat about the bush that you are sending a delegation. Can Paul Obiya send a delegation to Khartoum to negotiate? Does he know peace in his own country? Tumechoka. Punda za Afrika zinachoka.
Punde bechoka.
The African donkeys were tired.
It's tired, yes.
That's the meaning of what I've said. And I'm a straightforward man. I don't like to beat about the bush that the president of Eritrea, is a very good man. He's not. And he's going to cause trouble. You wait. You are going to see. Sindio, Ethiopia has opened the border with them. You are going to see.
The Eritrea closed again, part of it.
Because he's like that. We know him. Whenever we leave the office in Highbury and Islington, we go to watch football. He doesn't want. When he comes with us in the pub, he pretends he doesn't drink. Then he laughs at us. I'm telling you from personal experience. I was with him before the formation of Ethiopian Relief Association, which later on gave arms and support in Britain. We are in the same office. The late Zenawi, himself, myself, Damba Nambago, Dr. Damba Nambago is still alive. Ask him. We worked with this man. Zenawi was my greatest friend. That's why you see me going to Ethiopia every summit. Even Museveni could find me in Ethiopia to say, how did he come now?
The late
Because, yes, the late Zenawi said, never stop that guy at the airport anywhere in Ethiopia. He's part of our struggle. He helped in logistical planning to take the Mengistu Harem and Yam. Because they were not rebels. I was. They were not trained. I was. Jamen.
So,
and now he's going to Sudan to spoil.
He has very special interest there.
Yeah, this one, a problem.
This is the second time.
It's one of the African leaders that his people are dying in the Mediterranean Sea. Now he's going to Khartoum to do what? To do what?
And a new constitution that was ratified in 2007 has not seen the day of light. He's refused. His governance record is very poor. So to go to a troubled country like Sudan as it is. And this after the president was ousted, that was last month. This is the second time. He sent a delegation a week after the ousting, and this is the second time he's sending. And so that tells you that Eritrea has very special interest in the happenings in South Sudan. And there's something else in the papers. Maybe I saw it making trending on social media, and also on Kenya blocked Somalia top officials at JK. And I was going through this story, and it appears they did not have the visa to enter the country.
If Eritrea wanted terrorism to stop in Mogadishu,
they would.
It would stop in a day.
So they're hosting the terrorists.
I'm a bit upset because of Africa. Let's cool down. Let's take a minute break. And I drink some water.
Yes.
And I come back to normality.
Okay, and when we come back, we will look at some
Ambazonia.
Their justifiable regime change in Africa, with special reference to Cameroon and the situation around the Anglophone region in that place. So please don't go too far. Good morning, Africa. We'll be right back.
We discuss Africa. We see what ails Africa. And today, this afternoon, we want to see whether Sudan will permanently remain a sick child of Africa. Is it a permanent sickness? Can we resolve the issues of Southern Sudan? Is it something that has gone wrong for 200 years? There has always been a problem in Southern Sudan, in that great region, starting from all the way the Alimadi wars and the rest of all what happened until today. Peace seems to be elusive. Why has UN taken slow action? Why hasn't UN set up a tribunal? We want to see a tribunal that will make sure that Southern Sudan people are accountable. Those who committed crimes against the human beings. 20,000 Sudanese perished. They are perished. They are not accountable. Nobody can account for them. And we cannot sit here, go on hammering peace agreements without mechanisms of accountability. If we set a tribunal for Sierra Leone, for Rwanda, for Cameroon, we need somebody to stand up for the poor masses, the masses that have died, the masses that continue to die, the masses that are being brutalized, murdered, maimed on a daily basis by marauding armies of both Riek Machar and Salva Kiir. There must be an accountability. You are not going to sit here and tell people there is no accountability in Southern Sudan. There must be a tribunal. Why do we run to harass countries of Kenya, put ICC on Kenya, put ICC on this country, put ICC on Central African Republic? Why have we delayed on putting a tribunal for Southern Sudan to find out who is killing, who has been killing, how they have been killing people? Let me speak for the people in Southern Sudan, the women, the children who have not gone to school, the children who have no medicine, the children who have nothing, who have been running since 2013, and the war cannot end because of two people. Let them face the tribunal. I'm not going to keep quiet as a Pan-African to see Southern Sudan being maimed, being tortured, being cut, dismembered. And we keep quiet and watch people put images of people, of malcontents singing to us in Uganda, in Kenya, in Ethiopia, in South Africa, telling us they have money. Let them face the international tribunal and tell the tribunal who gave them the guns, where they buying them, how they were killing people. Enough of is enough. Enough is enough for Africa. We have had enough. There is no need of that anymore. Enough is enough. And if people have died, they will not cry. We people who are left on planet Earth must cry for them. We must find justice for them. We must make sure that there are leaders who go on bragging on television stations all over the world who are accountable. They must be behind bars.
call for a non-violent revolution. We call for a non-violent protest. We call for a non-violent march. This is what we are demonstrating to the world, and we have resisted Mr. Biya's army of occupation in our land, but this is a moment that we must continue to stand firm.
Along with many other Cameroonians, many of you, as far back as the early 90s, and more frequently lately, I have insisted upon the imperative nature of genuine dialogue. Unfortunately, the government's solution has been cosmetic reforms and repression. Teachers, lawyers who raised legitimate concerns were either arrested or forced into exile. Doctors, important people in our society who asked for genuine dialogue, were met with punitive transfers and humiliation. It is regrettable that the government hasn't learned from the past.
We are ambassadors. We don't need anything again. The only solution to the matter is let the government solve this problem by giving our independent freedom.
We have a territory of our own. We recognize international boundaries. We have a language. We have a culture. We have our own laws. We have everything that is required by international standards to be a people and a nation and a state. The UN must give us this right.
We as a people, we have the right to self-determination, and we are determined to go our separate ways.
The people of the Southern Cameroons have suffered under the brutal regime of the annexationists, La République du Cameroun. We have suffered for 56 years, and we finally decided that enough is enough.
I think dialogue is the main solution, because the use of military has never been a solution.
Thank you very much. Welcome back to the last part of our show, the last segment of our show. And in this last segment, we are going to look at factors of justifiable regime change in some countries and unjustifiable reasons. There are reasons that have compelled Africans to go to the streets in some countries, and there are reasons that we give reasons as to why some African countries must go and not the others. And we want to make it very clear that we shall leave it for you to make judgment. But on some countries like Cameroon, we are straightforward and we shall talk straight. Cameroon needs a regime. The regime must go. Mr. Yaoundé needs people to tell him that your Yaoundé mechanisms of killing Amazonians must stop. And that is what we want to do. And that is what we want to say. The conflict between the English-speaking and the French-speaking has been going on for decades. It has reached a deadlock. Resolution 1608 of the United Nations General Assembly was very clear. Paul Ahicho and the rest who took over power in Cameroon did not follow it up. Where we are, Cameroon has reached a point of no return, with Amazonians being killed, refused to be given medicine, schools, infrastructure, and the army is busy killing them on a daily basis. In the last 20 months or so, the conflict has left more people dead, almost 2,000 people or more dead, and several internally displaced, some in camps across to Nigeria, and some in camps as far as even in Nairobi. People have fled that country. They have left Mr. Biya to rule with his iron hand. Cameroonian and international actors have to be encouraged to have a state. There is no more other negotiation over what we can do. It is, can we cut the state? Can we give them the state? Full stop. There's nothing you are going to negotiate here. I don't see any negotiation here. I don't see it at all. Because there is no negotiation here. The other side wants a state called Amazonia. And this other side does not want. Full stop. That's what we want. If they can provide that, then we shall keep quiet and say, yes, they have won, they have got independence, and they need to be left alone. It's over 10,000 people dead, not 1,000, but over 10,000 people. The situation in Amazonia itself remains very tense. There's no school open. There's no infrastructure left to them. Houses have been burnt. Hundreds of thousands have been killed. There is a justifiable way of a regime change in Yaoundé. Miriam.
Indeed, and of course, the crisis in the Anglophone regions, that is the northwest and southwest of Cameroon, began in October 2016 with protests by teachers and lawyers, which escalated into an armed insurrection at the end of 2017 and has since generated into a civil war. Of course, there are reasons that and are very pertinent that the Anglophone part of Cameroon are raising, and there seems to be questions of Mr. Paul Biya seems to be out of touch with what is really happening in the Anglophone, because just the other day he sent his prime minister there, who went through the Anglophone a couple of days, and he tried to meet with the local leadership of the Anglophone, which people are wondering what kind of leaders is he meeting, because majority of the Anglophone leaders are somewhere in the jails. They have been, jailed. So who was he really meeting? But apparently he went and he met with these people. And he was saying, Mr. Paul Biya is ready to talk about anything else. Whatever your problems, what he's not willing and ready to talk about is the secession. Biya does not want to hear that. So in this case, Dr. Matanga, what do you think there are concessions that must be established by each side, if at all, that could maybe perhaps help reverse the spiral of violence that is being experienced in the Anglophone region right now? Is there something Ambazonians can do and the government can do right now as a concession?
There's no, I don't see the question of concession. There's no concession to come with a person who does not listen to your words first. The only concession left is for the people of Amazonia to be given their country. There's no concession here. There's no other concession that they need. They need their country. They need a separate state. They have reached that apex of no concessions to be given. The only last concession that you can give is to allow Amazonia to go free. Let it go free. There's no negotiation here. You can't negotiate with a man who has killed people without accountability. So it is the same problem like Sudan. You want to create a political empire without accountability. No, concessions will bring in people, accusation, pointing fingers at each other. Let concessions come by only one way, Amazonia.
But before we get to Amazonia, there has to be a roadmap before people can able to, because at some point they have to sit down.
That roadmap started in 1961.
Yes.
It is very clear. First of all, create that roadmap by accepting that Amazonia is a state.
Yes.
Then Amazonia can now sit down and be a good country, independent, able to speak on its own. Then they can talk about the rest of the things. But for now, there is nothing to negotiate with Paul Biya. He's lost it. He allowed the country to go to the dogs. He started killing Amazonians. They have they have fled. Some are in the forests. Women are being raped. Children are being killed, defiled. Youths are being cut to pieces. You know, negotiations.
So what I hear you to say is that Cameroon's President Paul Biya must recognize the existence of that the problem of Anglophone is legitimate.
An independent state.
Yes.
These guys have nothing to do with the ones in Yaoundé. The Yaoundé are eating them. You have put their leader. Their leader is in jail. This gentleman is in jail without trial. The only negotiation is to release this man to go and lead his state, his country. We have formed countries. We formed East Timor. I was in East Timor myself. Some people in the world don't know where East Timor is. If you tell them locate where East Timor is, where is it? Do they know? It is in the Pacific Ocean near Australia, near Indonesia. We went there to create a state. The only thing that these people can have is a state that can stop the violence that is taking place in Cameroon. Less than that, nothing can change the situation on the ground in Cameroon.
All right. And I don't know what you would feel about this, but should, say, the international actors come in and try to moderate both sides? Because at the end of the day, should these two countries separate, then there has to be a modality where this is done. And should this take place, would you suggest maybe it takes place outside of Cameroon in a different country that seems to be moderate in these matters to help in the negotiation, in the separation talks? They must happen, I believe.
The separation talks should have started long time ago. There was a delaying tactic by international community, especially France and Britain and Nigeria. The successful regimes in Nigeria blocked a resolution to be brought back to the United Nations Security Council General Assembly. But for now, the only thing that is on timetable is to release political prisoners. You see? Release the political prisoners, release the leaders of the Amazonian people, allow Amazonia to go. It cannot hold anymore in Cameroon. Allow it to go to form a state and recognize each other as a state, recognizing each other. Recognize the presence of Amazonian state. Stop killing the Amazonian people. Take them with dignity and respect. Give them the integrity they deserve internationally and safeguard their integrity. Then they can come back to discuss the way forward on which direction. The direction we now that they are in, where they have reached. Miriam, there is no reverse gear of any more dialogue with a regime that is killing them on a daily basis, slaughtering them, raping them, starving them, butchering them, burning their houses on a daily basis. There is no way that people can allow this in the current international global market, globalization politics of internationalism that is destroying the silence that is created in areas where regime change is justifiable.
But given the level of acrimony between the parties, the Paul Biya's government and the Amazonians, of course, the presence of international mediator will be necessary during the preparations and the discussions. As we have established, these discussions, I think, must happen for them to separate and to find to chart their way forward. And of course, during the national dialogue, who would you suggest should mediate these talks now? Because it seems that between them it has failed. Should we bring an outside mediator, and who would you suggest that will be the right person to mediate between these two warring parties, Paul Biya's government and the Amazonians?
Of course, these mediations should not include France.
Who would you suggest?
It should be
United Nations, AU?
First of all, don't take me and confuse me in the forest.
Switzerland seems to be a very...
No, in the forest.
Yes.
Don't take me to a forest. To mediate what? Resolution 1608 was very clear. This country became a state. A state, I'm telling you, through a referendum, it became a state. The only mediation we need is the resurrection of Resolution 1608 in the General Assembly in the United Nations in September. Let France bring it up. Let's bring it up in the General Assembly. We recommend it to go to the Security Council. The Security Council allows Amazonia to fully, independently raise its flag Period. There is nothing to negotiate. There is no other way to negotiate what? You can't negotiate with people who have stolen you.
But as it is right now, the war, the force is not working. In fact, more Ambazonians continue to suffer as casualties. Women continue to get raped. Young men continue to be butchered. So somehow the war tactic is not really working in favor of Ambazonians right now. So maybe another way should be rethought.
As a conflict resolution expert, the center point for negotiation, the train passed that bend.
Is it too late now?
Yes. The center point for negotiation, the train passed. It was a very slippery curve. Bia lost it. Bia should have used 2 years ago when this thing started. Bia would have technically said, okay, my people, I want to go down 6 feet very soon when God calls me, but I want to give you a present. Leave Amazonia to go. The train has passed the end, the curve is so tight that you cannot tighten anymore. Because if you tighten more, the train will derail. The only route left is solutions. What are the solutions? One of the solutions that you can give is to give the people of Amazonia status. Leave them. They are a state already. They are organized. They have a flag. You only need to say, thank you. We have been together. East Timor, Indonesia. Indonesia was occupying East Timor. Jakarta was bombing East Timor. The troops of Indonesia and Suharto, President Suharto ordered killings of East Timor. East Timori. They were killed in thousands. I was there for this UN independent observation. They reached a point where they said we can't have anything less. Whether you bomb us up to the last man, we are not changing our course of democracy and freedom. The people of Amazonia at the moment want the course of democracy. Their freedom determined in 1961 Resolution 1608 to be given to them. There is nothing you can change. You can't change history now. You can't reverse the trend to that curve. It will derail.
And that's what maybe I was saying, because that point is there, the resolution is there. So what we need is the outside, especially pressured on President Paul Biya's government, the mediators. That will be, I think, their work to come in and put pressure on Paul Biya, because even Cameroonian opposition, parts of Yaoundé, are really asking for dialogue right now. The latest reports coming from Cameroon and civil society in Cameroon, and there are people from the Francophone region who are concerned about this, and they're joining together and they're putting pressure on Paul Biya's government, and they're saying, no, we need to talk with our brothers from the other side. There needs to be a talk, whichever way those talks will take place, but it is required.
No, Biya lost. Biya lost. Paul Biya lost the chance to talk to these guys.
So even international pressure will not do it.
Which is pressure? To do what? International pressure has been watching them being killed on a daily basis. They were being bombed, cut to pieces, cut throats, defiled their women, raped their women, burned their houses. International community has been watching. You tell me now, you talk what? What do you want to talk after you have killed, after you have cut off internet, after you have closed schools, after you have closed dispensaries, after you have closed hospitals, after you have blown landmines on roads? Tell me what you want to negotiate with the people of Amazonia. At this moment, I don't see any fruitful negotiations, except a cheap,
in the presence of a mediator from outside.
Which mediator who watched them die? They have risen their flag themselves. They are defending themselves on a daily basis. Who is the only mediator who can come now help the people? Is
You see the way we came in and helped South Sudan in terms of mediating and helping South Sudan separate from Sudan, something like that. The end of the day, the casualty, the price is too high when we see, right now I'm seeing 10,000 people have been killed and a lot of worrying reports here. And right now 170 villages have been destroyed, 530,000 people have been internally displaced, 35,000 have sought refuge in neighboring country, Nigeria, and others that are unaccounted for across the world. The price is too high, don't you think?
Indeed, you have said it summarily. The price is too high. You can't reverse the train.
Can they be
We allowed the price to go. The point of talking about sitting down with beer was 20 months ago.
That's nearly 2 years ago.
2 years ago, beer
October 2017.
lost a chance to discuss. As we speak now, what America can do is to safeguard the airspace of Amazonia and to give humanitarian access to the humanitarian agencies, create a state of safe haven over Cameroon so that Yaoundé can remain on its own and Amazonia remains on its own. Full stop.
So it's just through blood and that's it.
It won't.
That will be the only.
He lost the chance. He lost the chance of negotiation. He lost the chance. He killed it. There is no way that the people who have suffered under the auspices of the same agencies can come and say we want to talk. Talk what? The other state is a functioning state. They have their English. They talk English. They do their things like Englishmen.
Not like Africans.
Not like, no, they are the most well-organized people. They are like Biafrans. They don't behave like Yaoundé people. No.
So anyway, there's been local initiatives to promote dialogue that emerged from July 2018. And of course, Anglophone religious leaders, that includes the Catholic, Protestants, and Muslims, announced a plan to hold an Anglophone General Conference as a first step towards an inclusive national dialogue. A majority of Anglophones were in favor of this initiative and a bit reluctant, but they were faced with opposition from the government. The conference organizers have already had to postpone the conference twice. So the Anglophones wanted to organize themselves and come out and speak with one voice before they go out to the national government and reach out. But Bobby has not allowed that to happen.
There is something, there's a division. And I want to take this opportunity to warn my people of Amazonia. When you are about to succeed, there is chaos. Divisions will come. Many of you will be labeled anti-government, pro-government, anti-rebels, anti-Amazonia. And I see this every day happening. I've seen people divided, factions coming up, denouncing each other in international fora. It shows the weaknesses of a rebel. If you are opposing something, struggling for something, those weaknesses always appear. And you can see, for you, I'm not Amazonian. I have no side that I stand except the people, the leaders that I've known. I've known Sako. I've known the other gentlemen in South Africa, my friends. I've known several of them. I don't know where they belong, what they do. They fight for one cause, and that cause is none other than one simple situation. It's called Amazonia, to be free. So if Amazonia can be free, don't go into tribal enclaves. Don't go into factions. Don't try to divide yourselves. The enemy is dividing you in order to weaken all of you. You will come back to the same thing and you will not achieve the independence that you yearn for from Paul Biya French-led mercenary government.
All right, our viewers here have been writing to us, and Matsud, you're saying U.S. has declared a no-fly zone over the Federal Republic of Ambazonia for humanitarian agency to get into Ambazonia. Okay.
Has it?
I've not gotten hold of that news, but it seems Madut has
it
some
has.
information.
We called for that no-fly zone. If you go back to my clips, I called for that no-fly zone 7 months ago. About 7 months ago, I talked about no-fly zone. The United States should put a no-fly zone over Ambazonia in order for Ambazonians to access humanitarian agencies, to access the people who have not got treatment, who ate their Christmas in the tropics, in the trees, on top of the trees, in a country which has plenty of life in other parts of Cameroon. Yet Amazonians are dying in the bushes, in the tropics, over this tropical sunshine, killing them. They have been raped. Diseases are killing them. They are dying day and night. Rained on by the army of the French-led Paul Biya.
All right. And Matsud, you're saying there's no Anglophone conference in Amazonia. Yes, I think that is what I said. It's supposed to be there, but it has been postponed twice because the government has not been willing in terms of supporting that. And so it has not taken place yet. And let me see what the rest of our viewers are saying. Alfo, thank you so much. That news about no flight zone isn't true. No information about that for now. Yeah. And all right, guys. I keep. Thank you for confirming that, Matsud. I don't know where you got that from, but maybe you could clarify that for us. And Ad Gafu here is saying they will not allow Siseko to govern them from jail. Paul Biya has given him a laptop in jail to use it to destabilize our interim government. What is he talking about?
That is the advice I'm trying to give them. Honestly speaking, they should be very careful that at this hour, if they try fighting, and you know, at the same time killing themselves, that will be very dividing amongst themselves, causing factions. That is not acceptable. You should not divide. And I will get a special program on Friday. I want to teach you tactics of final push for liberation of Amazonia. Get that topic. Tactics of final push for liberation of Amazonia. We don't want divisions. We are not interested in divisions. Thank you.
All right. Yeah, we want to thank you so much, our viewers, for your contribution in today's show. Yes, you've said more than 20,000 people have died. Yes, indeed. And about over 500,000 of them have been internally been displaced, and they are living as refugees. So that is a situation that is really worrying.
Good morning. We were not captured.
And of course, similarly, although the Cameroonian government seems to rule out federalism, it might consent to some regionalism or genuine decentralization. This is according to some report by some group that went there to carry out some research, and so that is something that is yet to be seen. And of course, should President Paul Biya, adopt a conciliatory stance and recognize the existence of Anglophone problem and legitimize the demands, so maybe this might make a difference. We'll see you again tomorrow for another edition of Good Morning Africa.
And we have just, can you do this?
must be our goal and our guide. And all that we strive for as a human family, dignity and hope, progress and prosperity, depends on peace. But peace depends on us.